5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. He's brought to you by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Now, here's Tom Silverstein.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. And we're here following what was quite a disappointing
Ask me why I'm
loss
smiling.
for the Packers. But
Ask me why I'm
it
smiling.
may have been a bad weekend for the Packers. It wasn't. It's not a bad day for you. Congratulations. You made it into the semifinals of the final 24 for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 25, I said.
Thanks to people like you, though.
No.
Doing this
there's
stuff.
nothing. It all has to do with your play.
Bill Schultz, you guys make me look good every week, and this is by far one of my favorites. It's fun for me because
a lot, huh?
Well, you're hoping for the 100th anniversary year.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You know, it would be cool to be a finalist.
Yeah.
But
so this is a third straight year you're a semifinalist,
yes,
right? And the next round goes in January
for the
where they
finalists.
pick the finalists, right?
Yes.
Usually all of those guys make it in.
Yeah, for the most part.
Mostly.
Yeah, it's just hard to gauge what are they looking for. You know, just stats or, you know, if you're on Super Bowl teams or whatever. But I'm just honored to be a part of it because if you think about all of the guys who should be in the Hall of Fame, to be down to 25, I think is an honor.
That's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Yes. Absolutely. Congratulations.
Yes. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. So,
but you know, and the reason why I wanted you to ask me why I was smiling, because I do an anti-bullying thing called Butler versus Bullying, and Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shields of Milwaukee sponsors it. And a young man came up to me, he's a 5th grader, and he was happy. You know why he was happy?
Why was he happy?
He said, Mr. Butler, I know the Packers are 8-3, but I remember last year they were 6-9-1. So I'm not upset they lost to San Francisco. I said, you're a brilliant young man. So it made me turn my frown upside down to say, look at the big picture of, you know, you're in a good place, but we have to talk about going to California because this time they traveled on Saturday. Yeah, because Friday wasn't something wrong. I
was thinking they should just go out on Sunday. Just go out a couple hours before the game.
Go out on Sunday.
Just show up then. I mean, that's all you got left. You tried Friday. You tried Saturday. You know, I try to spend as little time as possible in California because obviously it's not.
Your quarterback's from California. You got to make that a place.
We know it has nothing to do with California.
I know. We're just being funny. A lot of hyperbole.
This is about the Packers and who they are, and we found out a lot about who they are.
Yes.
It doesn't define their it might define their team a little bit. It doesn't yet define their season because they've still got a really good chance to make the playoffs.
Really, realistically, only going to win 2 games.
Yeah.
But
probably 3, maybe.
Possibly 3. But if you look at it, though, Tom, this is the most competitive the NFC has ever been in a long time.
Yeah.
Because you got a team that, I don't know if people are still buying the 10-1 by San Francisco, but it's just the way that you lost to San Francisco.
Yeah. So you finally played a member of the elite in the NFC. You finally got that chance, and you weren't competitive. You didn't compete at all. And now you don't play another elite until you play Minnesota on the road. Yeah. And so that's the problem. This is a definition game from the standpoint that you finally played one of these teams, and you know, I don't know if you can redefine yourself now. Maybe.
Well, I mean, this is the reason why it's a little stressful, because this is after a bye week.
Yeah.
And after a bye week, we said before on this particular show that they would work on some of the underlining things that was causing them to be worst in the league in punt returns, like minus, or to give up big plays to George Kittle. Stay tuned for X and O's for that.
I'll tell you what, I don't think we're geniuses. I think we're actually pretty mediocre on the intelligence level. But we picked out 2 plays, or we've picked out plays that we might as well just designed San Francisco's offense for
Absolutely.
what they did, because they did everything that either we've seen someone else do to the Packers,
Yep.
or we saw San Francisco do to someone else.
Yes.
And the Packers had no answer for
And
it.
it's a copycat league. And Evan Ingram of the Giants is going to run the same play.
Yeah.
But it'll be from a different formation, but he'll go in motion, he'll sit down, and he'll still run up and run a shake route post.
We saw George Kittle score on a 61-yard
Yes.
touchdown play. I swear to God that was Travis Kelce running a 61-yard touchdown play against the Packers
Yes.
against
It
Kansas
seemed
City.
like it was the same thing.
It's mind-boggling that they can't stop some of these things from happening. And conversely, on offense, you know, they lost Brian Bulaga, and that hurt.
Yep, it
Obviously,
does hurt.
that hurt.
It does hurt.
But you have to be able to adjust. And if your right tackle can't block somebody, can't block a Nick Bosa, then you got to help him. Or
Well,
you got to do something.
The Bosa brothers had a field day this year, and it just seemed like Ingram, like 54 for L.A., was like this kid, number 54 for San Francisco.
Destroyed him.
And they played similar, and I thought you pointed out something that was brilliant, because I didn't see this. They were running some of these games away from Alex Light to put him one-on-one with Bosa.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wow, that's good coaching. They said, Light, you're one-on-one. We need everybody else to help with these games and blitzes on the other side. But then the integrity of the offense has to stay impacted, because you want to keep guys in to chip with them, or you slide the line or whatever. But if you Corey Linsley, who I like a lot, had one of his worst games.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you can't just stop the penetration in all the games, it's hard for Aaron Rodgers to go through his progression and find somebody that's open. Because people are going to say, well, receiver's not open, or well, Aaron just had a bad day. It could be a combination of both.
Well, yeah, and the protection was terrible.
Yeah.
But it's just, like you said, they had a bye week to prepare for this. Yeah. And they had, I mean, it looked to me like, I said in my column, I think they drew their game plan up Sunday morning on a napkin at breakfast, you know? It looked offensively, it looked like they had no idea how to attack that defense.
Well, Matt LaFleur said it. I mean, he thought they got out-coached. I mean, he said that. And to me,
it's pretty sorry at this point in the season when you're 8-2 to be okay. Bad games happen.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
bad games happen,
and it's a lot of parallel. I mean, he has a brother there. I mean, that team. I remember I was going out in '95, beating San Francisco. That kind of put us on the map. The winner of this game, I thought, puts itself in a position for team to put everybody on notice. We're here to stay. This is not a fluke.
Yeah,
so that does that. But when you can rush just 4 guys and get pressure, it's hard for any offense to get in rhythm.
I think you have to look at the coaching staff, and you have to look at the fact that who San Francisco has and their coaching staff and the veteran people that they have, and then look at the Packers' offensive staff, and they've got, a guy who's an offensive line coach, who's an assistant offensive line coach for 2 years, a tight ends coach who was a high school coach 2 years ago, wide receivers coach who was in college last year. We knew that there was going to be some growing pains with those guys.
But those guys were there when they were undefeated, and when they beat Minnesota and they beat Chicago, they're the same guys.
Never through that time did we ever say, "Wow, this is a dominant offense," or can't. Nobody can stop this offense. Or it was always they were winning against, somewhat mediocre teams, but they were doing.
So in San Francisco, though.
True.
In a way.
True.
In a way.
They were.
In a way.
But you know what? they competed their butt off against Seattle, and that was Seattle might be one of the best teams in the NFC. They went up to Seattle on a short week, and I mean, should have won the game. The field goal guy missed a field goal, so they had that in the bank.
Yeah,
okay.
But they also
the Packers
struggled
did
with
not
Arizona
have
twice.
that. Yeah, but they've been beat up, and they found ways to win. You know, they used guys. They used that Jeff Gordon against Arizona to win the game. A guy who played like 3 snaps. You know, I mean, they're just really resourceful, and I don't think we've seen that with the Packers staff.
And I think it remains to be seen because, again, this is a copycat league. Everybody will use your weaknesses against you. And that's what the self-scout was all about during the bye week. We're going to self-scout ourselves to see where our deficiencies are and give our players the tools to combat these things. But they are targeting particular players now because they know that their safeties are very aggressive, so you're going to get a lot of play action, you're going to get a lot of things. But a lot of people see these, they just think it's always Kevin King's fault or Jair Alexander's fault. But a lot of the safeties play as of late has really been hurting the team. Plays of 61 yards and 30 and 40 yards, the dabble, touchdown over the middle, all that kind of stuff. It should be eliminated if you're going to be a Super Bowl defense.
Right.
Not a defense that can just win games, bend, don't break. But can you shut people down? And they were one of the best red zone teams coming into the game. Packers in the top 10, top 5 in red zone defense. But they gave up a lot of yards. But ultimately, on a game that was flexed, you wanted a better showing after a bye week.
Yep. It's tough. Now, so they go this week, and they've got the Giants. They're at the Giants, 2-9 Giants. And they got Washington, who pulled out a victory, but they're they beat Detroit, and they're 2-9. So they've got those 2 games, and then they got Chicago at home. On the surface, that doesn't look bad. I mean, they really should be 3-0 off of that, right? And then they're 11-3 going into Minnesota. But does that change? I mean, in your mind, can something change between now and Minnesota playing those 3 games? Can they prove anything?
I think they can prove that if for some reason the Saints or Seattle or even San Francisco for some reason slip back, they got to be there to pick up the pieces. Because November is, not only is it Salute to Service month, which should be every day, by the way, this is the month time to make movement. Backwards or forwards. Because when you get into December, everything is pretty much is a dash now to the finish to make it into the playoffs. But where you make it into the playoffs not only says where you play at or if you get a home game, but you got to be on all cylinder, the hottest team. That's why you've seen teams at 9-7, like the Packers did, go all the way to the Super Bowl, or the Giants. So you got to play your best football in December. You play your best football for the grown-ups, like your all-pros, Bakhtiari, Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. November is the day, and plus it's the week before Pro Bowl balloting and all that kind of stuff out if you want to get to the Pro Bowl. Your all-pros or your great players, they usually take it from here. Thank you for your average players for helping us get here. We'll take it from here. The Smith brothers, Martinez. These are the guys who go in that locker room and say, listen, regardless of what they say on social media, we're still in first place. Regardless of what they say on social media, I still have my goal, and that's to win a Super Bowl. Do we have to play better? Yes. But don't beat yourself up over it, because you got enough people to do that. But at the same time, if you keep seeing the same mistakes over and over again, sooner or later, Tom, it's time for the players-only meeting. And that's when you air everything out.
Well, when do the players start going, well, we're doing what they're telling us to do and it's not working?
Oh, that's a good question.
What happens then? Do they lose confidence in their coaches?
No, you never lose confidence in your leadership. You just don't.
Okay.
Now, you can do some things different, but you never lose confidence because ultimately these guys are over there 14-hour days, 15-hour days to put together a great game plan, and you have to buy into it. Some of it could be on me. Do I study more? Do I really sit down one-on-one with my position coach and say, what am I doing wrong to help me out? And sometimes I will go over to Brett's meeting room and say, guys, I mean, they got me on this one play. From an offensive standpoint, how do you get to that particular play? And then you have to go back to your fundamentals and stuff like that. But ultimately, you don't just go in the weight room, do a bunch of lifting, and just all of a sudden you're stronger. You're stronger throughout the season. But again, you're all pros, you're Pro Bowls. They should take it from here, starting with the Giants.
You know, it's funny though. If you really look at it, if you look at, let's just take the defense for example. You can't complain with what Zadarius Smith is giving you, what Preston Smith is giving you, what Kenny Clark is giving you, what Jair Alexander. I mean, Jair Alexander gives up some plays, but you got to remember that the plays he's not giving up are plays he's covering someone. That means they're not throwing at him. You know, I think people forget that they see him give up something and, oh, well, he's terrible. Well, what about the other,
the other 50,000
plays that, he's not getting.
No, just talk about that one.
I think they had some guys who are playing really well, and that's the part that's really bothersome.
It gets lost. It does get lost.
It's bothersome because, okay, you got guys playing well, but you're still not succeeding. So
you're right about that, because you can see that offense gave up 5 sacks, but all year you got a rookie left guard who's been kicking some tail. And that's good. That's good.
The other thing is that we have to talk about for sure is how do you get Aaron Jones involved? I mean, let's face it, he's replaced Devontae Adams as the most important player because of the offense they're running.
And that's a great question too, because Ezekiel Elliott and Aaron Jones to me will be the last guys to really make the Pro Bowl. Because the guy in Carolina is on a new level, okay? So, of course, Christian McCaffrey will be in the Pro Bowl, but after that, you got other guys you're thinking, who's going to be the top 3 running backs, in the NFC? Barkley, he's been hurt all year. Kamara, he's been hurt all year. So Aaron Jones saw like a little daylight, but then you see Ezekiel Elliott, who has not had a great year, but he has name ID. Then you start to think about, how can you get your guy enough touches for him to feel like he's a Pro Bowl player? And I think this last game was hard for him to not only have 13 carries and no targets in the passing game. Or if he did get 1 target and had no catches.
Well, San Francisco aimed to take him out of the game. Okay, so that's if a team is going to take one of your guys out of the game, then someone else should have a pretty good game. Your other star should have another good game. And that should be Devontae Adams. And he didn't, and Rodgers didn't. And that's a troublesome development. That if they take away Aaron Jones, you got nothing else. So I don't know how they fix that.
Well, one guy, before we wrap this up, that plays hard every down, every play, number 30. Jamal Williams, that's a guy I would love to have on my team. He never takes a down off. The guy plays hard. They threw a swing pass out to him, and he beat 3 guys to pick up the first down. That's the kind of guy that's a real leader. And that's the kind of guy that will understand what it takes to get to the next level. But your point is right about Aaron Jones. But sooner or later, Matt LaFleur, I believe in his system. I believe in everything he understands about his team. And they're a close-knit team. I mean, if you thought they were going to be 8-3 at this point, I mean, you'd give them a standing ovation at the last year. That's why that 5th grader was telling me this, that sometimes we lose sight of that. I think the fan base said, okay, it was terrible. We don't know how this year is going to go. Wait a minute, we're 7-1. Okay, let's go for it now. Let's be an elite team. I want more. And you can still get those things, but you got to beat the people you're supposed to beat, and it starts with the Giants. So that'll get into my prediction a little bit, too.
Okay.
Because I really feel like Daniel Jones is a quarterback that'll give you some opportunities, but he also can really spin that ball. And Barkley has not had 100 yards in forever.
If I'm Saquon Barkley and I'm Evan Ingram, their tight end, I am really excited about playing the Packers this week.
And some of the same plays. But I think in New York, Aaron Rodgers always come down. I remember last year against the Jets, I mean, he just destroyed them. So I look for Aaron Rodgers to bounce back. But I think the Packers will win 28-17. It may even start a little ugly at the beginning because you're still thinking about the San Francisco game. But ultimately, you just got to win these next 2 or 3 weeks. So I think they'll be able to win that game.
Okay, good.
And you better not pick an upset in your column.
I
will block you on social media.
I may be done taking the Packers after taking them against San Francisco.
I will block you on Twitter if you do that.
Every time I take them, they get crushed.
Okay, but let that go.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Let it go. Stay tuned for XL.
Absolutely. We have two really good plays. And
yes.
You're going to shake your head when you're watching them, right?
Yeah, and again, thank you.
You got pretty emotional watching them.
I did.
So we'll try to keep you.
It's not supposed to happen to safeties. The safeties play is a little concerning.
Right.
So I'm going to talk about that. Because people do get questions all the time real quick. Why do tight ends always have success against the Packers? So I'm going to talk about that a little bit more.
Okay.
And again, thank you to Potawatomi Hotel and Casino for sponsoring us. We really appreciate it.
We do.
And again, thank you to Anthem of Blue Cross Blue Shields in Milwaukee for sponsoring Butler versus Bullying.
All right.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you next time.